I've asked for this meeting, this press conference, just to bring you up to date. I know you were always asking about what's happening in GWI and where we're going. And this is one of the things we want to have a good interface, a good exchange with the media to be able to assist us in bringing information to us in terms of where things may not be going as well as they should, and also sharing with the general public information with respect to where things are going well and trying to understand our plans as we move forward. So we are going to try to give you a snapshot so far as to what we've accomplished so far during the year, and give you a snapshot of some of the organizational changes that have taken place as a result of the changes made and approved by the board. Now, going forward, let me say to you, when you speak to the issue of GWI, there are always going to be 5 programmatic areas of which you can focus on. One is the organizational and management issues, which deals with capacity building, which deals with occupational health and safety, which deals with human resource matters, etc. There's another program which will be water production and water quality, which looks at the production side of things with respect to water across the country and the water quality. And next will be water distribution and water quality. The next would be sanitation. And the last program speaks to the issue of finance and customer relations and the commercial side of things. So all the time when you're speaking to GWI now, it is these 5 programmatic areas that you are going to be looking at across the country.
Let's say some more on the projects that have been completed in Georgetown and those that are still in progress. We have completed Duncan Street transmission line. That, if you will remember, there are several occasions where there was disruption in Georgetown for several hours. And that is the reason why we have completed the 12-inch transmission line on Duncan Street. That line will be fully commissioned in the next week's time, when they will be connecting to the transmission line on Blasingian Road. And the Liliendahl line, that was also a burdensome situation. That's a 12-inch transmission line that would supply Turkine area from the Turkine well. We've completed that also. And Lamaha Park. Lamaha Park, which is it is west of the joint service scheme. And there are residents there that never received water from GWI because there was no distribution line in that area for all the years. We have completed the entire area with distribution line and service connections. As C said, Meadowbank, we have 75% completed that. I've just returned from a visit in Meadowbank, and that will be completed in the next few weeks. The North Rumville well, that's the 2 wells at North Rumville. That the rehabilitation of one is 50% completed, and that would significantly increase the water at Sophia, as the chief executive has mentioned. We have also the Cummins Lodge rehabilitation would also contribute to the service level in Sophia. And also we'll be doing, to emphasize that we'll also be doing distribution line upgrade in Seafield, Sophia. Seafield and the Sapphire as a whole, lots of the network there was done by self-help. And so it was not done to the standard of GWI. And so we'll have to revisit that and do an upgrade in Seafield. And indeed, that would increase the service level. Because if we do not do that, what will happen, we will be sending water there. But because of the resistance, it may be going to other areas. So we need to address that. We will also be doing a transmission line in Sapphire that would ensure we'll put a ring main there to ensure that adequate water is supplied to and remain in that area. And of course, Shelter Belt, significant work was done and completely, and it's in progress at Shelter Belt. You could attest, I would think, of the quality of water you're now receiving from Shelter Belt. And as the Chief Executive said, you'll be receiving 24-hour supply at you'll be receiving 24-hour supply at a pressure that would take the water at least into the second floor. And that will be on a 24-hour basis. There's lots more work to be done in Georgetown. And so I'll give hand it back to Chief Executive.
I am bringing the managers because I want you, the media, to know our managers in the field that are responsible for these areas. So let me thank Mr. Ned. Let me ask Mr. Van Rett to come forward. Who is responsible for the East Bank? East Coast, sorry. And we will speak to some of the issues on the East Coast. So just briefly, one phenomenon of improvement on the East Coast, many of you would have been seeing the overhead tanks at LBI and Annandale. Those tanks were really not functioning. Those tanks weren't functioning. They were nice tanks adorning the area. But we've already been able to re-establish the functioning of the LBI tank. And we've done, under the leadership of Mr. Barron, who is on leave, together with the regional manager and his team, significant work that the residents in LBI and Success and adjoining areas, he will speak with, that have seen significant improvement in the pressure in those areas. And we're now working on the Annandale tank. There's a tank at Annandale, but one of the things that we have to do is the issue of discovering the leaks, because it makes no sense to fill the tanks and there are leaks on the ground. So getting the community involved, and where the media can help us is in terms of sensitizing the community and asking them to help us to identify where these leaks are occurring.
As it relates to the East Coast, we have done extensive work in areas that didn't have any service for probably since existence. In Dutch Cab area, that's the area east of the Hope Canal, we have installed a distribution network. We did installation of a distribution network at Dazzle Scheme. As Dr. Charles mentioned, around the President's College area, there were about 5 streets that didn't have any distribution network. The work is about 85% completed. As a matter of fact, the initial works were completed, and we would have realized some savings initially, so we extended the work that, that was going on there. At Luziknan, we installed a 4-inch distribution main at Luziknan railway line. That is between the public road and the line, area known as Grassfield in Luziknan. In Lurie Souvenir, we would have also extended our distribution network. Likewise, in Risedale Squatting area, the area, they had about 3 streets that didn't have any service connections, or the customers there would have had long service connections. We did some work from the LBI pump station area. That's probably our greatest success on the East Coast. When we started, initially the pump station pressure was 20 psi. And because of going out and investigating the leaks with the assistance of Mr. Baran, we would have raised the pump station pressure from 20 psi to about 35 psi. And in that sense, we activated the overhead tank. Persons within the LBI area, the farthest part of LBI network, they are receiving water at about 15 to 18 psi. Also, what happens, because of our success in identifying and repairing the leaks, we are able to extend the LBI service area. And we are trying to extend the service area as far as from LBI to Larry Souvenir. We plan to do, or we are doing a similar exercise in the Friendship service area. Friendship serves from Annandale to Strathspey, which is a very large area, and we are trying to get the overhead tank active. And the same exercise that we did at LBI, we have to replicate in the section of the East Coast. In Sparendam, we are experiencing some problems with this Sparendam well presently. A decision was made to have a new well drilled in Sparendam that should commence sometime later this year. That's about the projects for the East Coast.
So we're going to proceed with a new well in Sparendam, because especially the people at the back of they are having significant difficulties, but we are trucking water into them as we speak. But under another project next year, we are expected to put another well also at Better Hope, which will boost the entire system of that area, Pleasance, Sparendam, as we go forward.
My name is Nishal Samru, Regional Manager, East Bank. For the East Bank Division, East Bank area, during the first half, we have achieved, in terms of our increase in our production, we have drilled a new well at Hillfoot, which serves about 150 customers presently. We have also installed distribution main, because this is a new area to our region. It was designed to produce 20 meter cube per hour, but at the moment it is producing 6 meter cube. Because of the we don't have the right size of pump inside, but we're sourcing that at the moment. The contractor is sourcing that. As you all would know, that we had a very tough time during this half at Diamond. Diamond Well Station was our main trouble. But we managed to get the system back and running in mid-June, and it is producing at 3.9 meter cube per hour. And we are also dosing the water with anti-infect, which is part of our treatment in improving our water quality in that area. And also, as you would have mentioned, that there's plan to drill a new well in that area before the year is out. We have done maintenance work at Moko well station, because we were having some problem with our production capacity there. Before we did the maintenance, we were getting out of the well 1.2 meter cube per minute. And after the maintenance program, we're getting 2.3 meter cube per minute, which is actually doubling our production at the moment. And that well station is serving Moko in Moko alone, whereby before we used to got to get a backup from Providence. So Moko is serving Moko. Providence is serving other areas in that. In terms of distribution, our divisional team had installed 1,000 meter of 4-inch distribution main at Little Diamond and Sue's Dyke, which is benefiting right now about 70 additional homes, and as well as Sue's Dyke Primary School, Sue's Dyke Nursery School, sorry. That is about it for our area here for the first half.
I would just add that in this case of Eccles, which is a new well, that I would have mentioned before about the difficulties we're having with carbon steel casings across the country, that we've got to re-sleeve a number of approximately 18 wells. And in the case of Eccles, which hasn't come into production as yet, is one of the wells that they've used carbon steel casing, and we just did a camera inspection. We're in the development phase of the well, and we discovered a hole in the carbon steel casing. So we now have to re-sleeve that well and then proceed to do the development. But these are the challenges that the challenges and the legacy that we have in terms of the carbon steel casings, which these wells actually should have a life of 25 years average, and within 1 or 2 years we are encountering these difficulties. So I think it's something that we have to move on very quickly. Some of the stainless steel have been ordered, and you will hear of a similar case in nearly every region where we have these wells. The well at Hope on the east coast, it's just 4 years old, so it's a similar problem with the carbon steel casing that we have to move very quickly to